Welcome back to my channel. I'm Becky, and if you're new here then welcome, and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. In today's video we are going to be using air drying clay to make 3 super easy Christmas decorations. So without further ado, grab yourself a drink and let's get on with the video. Okay guys, so for this craft you are going to need some air drying clay. I have already made my decorations just because it takes like 2 to 3 days for it to properly set, and I wanted to have some ready to show you what we could do with them, how I've painted them. But I will link down below where I got mine from. I've picked one pack up from TK Maxx and I picked one pack up from the range. So you're going to want air drying clay. You're going to want some of these wooden beads. Now I use these in a lot of my previous crafts. I've used them to make, where is it? My little Christmas gonk. I just picked this up from Amazon. I will make sure to link everything down below. You're also going to want some twine to make our little loops to hang the decorations on. You're going to want some cookie cutters. So I have a range of shapes here because we're going to be making some baubles. So you can use whatever shapes that you want. I've just gone for some basic round shapes. I've also used the tree and then some stars, and then I've also got some little letter cutters because I wanted to personalise them just to make some little indents. Now you can pick all these up from a lot of your local baking shops. I think these little name cutters were from Lakeland, but I'm sure you can get them on Amazon as well. So you're going to want some cookie cutters. You're going to want a rolling pin to roll out your air drying clay, and you're also going to want some greaseproof paper as you're rolling it out. And then finally, you're just going to want some paint and a paintbrush because we're going to be painting some of our decorations. So we've got 3 decorations we're going to be making today. Air drying clay is a really easy way for you to make some really lovely decorations that look quite expensive, and you don't have the mess of kind of making it. You don't have the time to put it in a kiln and glaze it. So it's really easy and it's really accessible for everyone to make, and it's not toxic, so kiddies can make it with you as well. Oh, actually I've just forgotten, you're also going to want some varnish. I don't have mine yet, it's coming in the post, just because I wanted to put a bit of a glaze on. I know some people have used epoxy resin, but I was a bit sceptical of using that just because I know of like the fumes it can release. But I'll link down below the varnish that I found that I'm going to paint onto my decorations as well. So the first decoration, and it's going to be the easiest one to make, is going to be some baubles. Now I've got a range that I've already made because I wanted to show you all the different types that you could make. Now they are super easy to make. I'll just lay them out here, move my mug out of the way. And I've got a range of ones, so I've just got a red one, and then I had a silicone mould from baking, and this was just off of Amazon, and it had some little pine cones and leaves and animals in it, so I put the air drying clay into that as well. So I've got some little pine cones on my baubles. I've also imprinted them with different kind of textures. So this is like a bit of wood that I've imprinted this one with. And then also, this trusty cardigan has been in a lot of my crafts. I've also used it to imprint, oh goodness, as you can tell they're quite sturdy because that didn't break. I've used it to imprint like a knitted pattern into the baubles. I'll obviously show you what it looks like up close, but it's really good because when you've rolled out your air drying clay, you can just kind of press it into it and it forms some really lovely patterns. And then I've also gone in with some paint and some letters, and I've just made them quite personalised as well, added some different patterns on them. So I've got some little gold dots, I've done some trees with some red and gold dots on, I've done these where I've cut out the middle to make like a bit of an effect there and done some red dots on them. You can literally paint them however you want, obviously fit it to your colour scheme that you're going for. I'm also going to be using them as like little name tags for putting on gifts, so this is for one of my friends. So I've just put their initial on it and then I'm going to attach that to their gift, so it doesn't just have to be baubles that you're making. I've also done one where I've imprinted Woody's paw print into it as well, just as a little keepsake for me to put on the tree, and then I'm just going to write on the back the year that he kind of imprinted his foot into it. Now again as well guys, the light's going to keep changing, so I do apologise about that. Obviously as I'm in the UK, the days are getting a lot shorter and the sun's out and then it's cloudy and then it's raining, so I hope it's okay for you. But to make these decorations, all I did was to get some greaseproof paper. I got my air drying clay block and I broke it into chunks and then I just rolled it out. You can do it to whatever thickness you want. I'd definitely say not to go thinner than I've gone, because then it can be quite prone to breaking. Obviously the thicker it is, the more sturdy it's going to be. And then I got my cookie cutters and I literally just cut out the shapes. And then if I wanted some patterns on them, so some of them I've left plain, some of them I've got like a wooden effect on them, so I actually just pressed them onto my cupboards because they're textured, and that created a lovely effect. Or like I said, if you've got some knitwear like this, it doesn't leave any marks on it, so you can just press it quite firmly into the clay and it leaves a really nice pattern. And then I did actually, you're gonna need a straw, because I used my straw just to form the little holes for the little yarn to go through, because we're going to need that in order to make it hang for a decoration. And then the ones that have the little letters in, all I did was get my little letter cutters and just gently press them into the clay. You don't want to go all the way. You can if you want it cut out like with the heart, but I just wanted a little indent, so then when I came to paint it, it gave me a little guideline to use. And then all I did was get some drying racks and I just left them to dry for around about 2 to 3 days, because sometimes they can look dry but they are still a bit bendy, so definitely just leave them, put them to one side in your kitchen for 2 to 3 days, and then you can come back and paint them once they're properly set. Now to paint them, I've just used my acrylic paint, so I've got some Christmassy colours, I got some golds, I got some reds. You can get acrylic paints from anywhere, it doesn't have to be specific ones to paint on clay. And literally all I did was just get a paintbrush and just paint them in. It was super easy. To form the dots, to make them a bit more uniform, I just got the back of my paintbrush, dipped it in and just gently dotted it on it in lines just to get a really nice like seamless effect. And then any bits what are stuck on, like these little acorns, I did just use my glue gun to stick those on just to make sure that they wouldn't move. And then I've attached some twine once the paint dried. You want to just kind of cut off a good amount that you can fold over and knot, so it's going to hang nicely onto your decoration. Onto your tree. Not your decoration, this is the decoration. So yes, I've just hung that on so you can hang it wherever. And I've also threaded them with some wooden beads. So all I did, in fact I can show you because I've got one that I've not put some twine into. So all you want to do is just get your twine, yarn, whatever you want to call it. Get some scissors. And then all we're going to do is just fold it in half. And then the two end pieces, you just want to tie into a little knot. Like so. Then my wooden beads, you don't have to put these on as well. This is completely up to you. I've added it on just because I think it gives it that nice Scandi theme. And then I'm just getting the bit that's folded here and I'm just going to twist it and thread it through like this. So I'll just add on one actually. And then all I'm gonna do is just thread it through. And then where you've got your little loop, where your tied ends are, just feed that through and pull it up like that. There's your little decoration. So what I'll do is I'll show you what some of these look like up close. I hope you don't mind that I've not done it with you. I just thought it'd take quite a while and then it'd lose its consistency because I'd be having to make them, then let them dry, then having to paint them, then let them dry. So I just wanted to do it all in one video to show you how easy it could be. So I'll show you what a few of them look like up close and hopefully it'll give you some inspiration for making your own. So hopefully you could see what they looked like. And like I say guys, they're really easy to make. You can use them as baubles, you can use them as name tags, you could use them as like placeholders for when people come round at Christmas Day and you want them to know where they're going to sit. There's really nothing you can't do with air drying clay. Okay, so moving on to the second craft with air drying clay. This one is super quick. And all you want to do is have your air drying clay rolled out, again to a good thickness, and you want to just kind of cut like a wide triangle like that, because we're going to be making some little trees. Now these aren't the most uniform, they're very rustic looking, but I thought it'd look really cute with my tree scene with all the other trees that I've made. So as you've probably seen on other videos I've made, just destroyed my display. I made these little cone trees and I've also made these like 2D trees. So I just thought to sit really nicely with them, and because they've got holes in, I could put some little fairy lights, I can just position those next to them as well. So to make these, like I said, all you want to do is have your clay rolled out in front of you. Use your straw to puncture in a few holes into it. And then you're just going to cut kind of like a wide triangle like this. Now I did this freehand. You can use a template that you can get offline. So an easy way to do it is type into Google like cone template and then print that out, and it should give you a really wide triangle that when you cut it, and it's going to fold perfectly to make a uniform cone. Another way to do this is you can get like the polystyrene cones from Hobbycraft, so you could wrap it around there and seal it. Whatever way you want to do it is perfectly fine. And then you just obviously want to make sure that it's got a straight base so it's going to stand up. And then all I did was wrap it round, and to seal it at the back I just got a little bit of water and I got like my finger and I just gradually pressed it together just to form this. I've added a few gold dots onto it. They're really not perfect guys, you can make it as neat as you want. I was just trying it out. Sorry guys, Jake's just come home. So yeah, so I've just been doing that, and then it's just going to sit really nicely in your display like that. And again, you want to leave it that 2 to 3 days to set, and then you can go in and paint it, and I'm going to go in and glaze all of these afterwards once that arrives in the post. And then the final decoration we're going to make is this lovely little rustic garland. Now I've made this with some stars and hearts, and this is where your wooden beads and your twine are really going to come in handy as well. And I think I'll probably go in and paint these stars red just to add some more pops of colour to it, and then I can hang it on the walls, I can hang it, you can even use it to hang around the tree, whatever you want. It's just a really nice little decoration that you can add to any part of your home, and it's just going to elevate the space. So to make this, I used the same process to make the baubles. So I used my heart and star cookie cutters, I got my cardigan to imprint this nice little kind of like woolen effect to it, and then I've just stuck on some leaves from my silicone moulds as well and painted those gold. Then to attach them, so you're going to want a really long piece of twine, whatever the length is of where you're going to put it. So I just wanted a little one because I'm just going to hang it above the door. And I measured that and cut my twine to size. Okay guys, sorry for the distraction. Jake has just come in and got some drinks. So where were we? Yeah, so I've cut it to size to go above my door frame, and I knew that kind of as I was making my decorations as well, because I obviously wanted to have kind of like symmetry. So I knew I was going to need 3 hearts and then 2, 4, 6, 8 stars, quick math. And then all I've done is looped my ends. So at the end where you're going to feed it, you just want to create a little loop and knot it. And then I started by feeding, like I did with the decorations, my little wooden balls onto my twine. And then I knew I was going to want 4, so after 4 I then went in with my little stars. Now I've only added a tiny little piece of twine onto these because I wanted them to be quite tight to the kind of garland. And then all I've done is, I can show you here, so if I start with, because I left these to show you. So I've got my twine, I've already added a star on, so I need to go in with 4 of my wooden beads. And again, you can use whatever you want, you don't have to use twine. If you wanted to use like a coloured yarn, if you wanted to use a ribbon, whatever you wanted is perfectly fine. Obviously you can use whatever's going to suit your colour scheme. This can be a bit fiddly to put on sometimes. Like that. So now that I've got my wooden beads on, I'm just going to go in with my little star decoration. In fact, no, it's a heart. So I'm going to go in with my heart decoration. And the reason why I don't just tie them to the garland itself and actually thread them through is because if you make a mistake or you want to adjust kind of the distance between them, it's a lot easier to take them off if they've just been looped on than instead of undoing all the knots that you've tied, because obviously it's only thin so it can get quite fiddly. So that's just a little tip for you to use. So again, once I've done the heart, I'm going to go in with, again, another 4 beads. Then I'm going to add in my star, just slide that on, and then just finish it with my other 4 beads and star. Now obviously, like I said, you can make this as long as you want, you can make it as short as you want, you can use whatever patterns you want on it. So if you had a gingerbread man cookie cutter, you could add that to it, you could add some little candy canes onto it, anything that you wanted. If you've made some dried oranges, you could add a bit of twine onto those and add those onto it for a pop of orange colour. And then once I've got it to the length that I want, I'm just going to add another little loop onto this end just to secure it. And then any excess twine, I'm just going to go in with my scissors, wherever they are, and trim that. And there we've got, turn it the right way, our really easy twine, yarn, air dry clay decoration. Like I said, I probably will paint the stars a red just so it stands out a bit more. But I think that's just going to look lovely. Hanging from a wall, hanging from your doors, hanging around your trees. And it's just a really quick way to decorate for Christmas. And it also is something to do with the kids in the holidays. If you want to keep them busy, you can set them off doing this. It doesn't really need much supervision because there's no real sharp objects involved. So it's perfect for that as well. I'll show you what this looks like up close. And that's it. It's simple as that, guys. It doesn't take much time at all. The longest thing that's going to take for this craft is obviously rolling out the clay and cutting it the shapes. But after that, it is really quick. You get loads of decorations from one pack. I had probably about a kilogram pack, which is about that big, And I think I've easily got like 50 plus baubles, I've got the 2 trees, I've got that little garland. So it goes a long way, and it's a really nice way to personalise your decorations, to personalise your gift tags, anything like that. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, and while you're down there, please subscribe also. Your support means the world to me. And if you've made it to this part of the video, comment down below the Christmas tree emoji, and I'll catch you at the next one. Thanks guys, bye!